All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachawadash for the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the hallways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Barakatham. Shalom. I came across this in Google. I was just kind of thinking out loud in the spirit, man. And the thing that hit me was, man, Esau has completely ruined something that was supposed to be beautiful, which is marriage. All right, he's turned it basically into a trap, into a snare, by turning the laws upside down. You could get into a marriage. Your woman can cheat on you. She can go take rod from another man, and then she's not only not put to death or even punished, she's able to extract revenue and money from you. that's how that's how this system is set up. And when you look on the opposite side of it, what is he doing? He's still pushing a propaganda that this is something that all men should be doing. Well, any man with a logical brain who would enter into an agreement like that? You're basically entering into agreement with Satan, right? Even if your woman may not have necessary malintentions on wanting to marry you, you're still entering into agreement with Satan, because ultimately Satan set up the rules. All right. And in the back of your woman's head, she knows marriage is going to benefit her a lot more than it's going to benefit you. You know, that's why from a very young age, it's propagandized. It's in TV. There's a whole genre. I used to work in the movie business. There's something called romantic comedies. All right. And romantic comedies or romance dramas, they push this narrative, and they'll guise it with humor and comedy. And some of the movies are enjoyable. I watched them, but you have to know through the spirit that this is all bullshit. They're trying to subconsciously get women to follow this narrative that they're over the man. It always starts off with they're equal. That's now they have this term 50-50 partnership, but when you look at the laws and stuff, it's not 50-50. Okay, because a man will have to pay 50% of his income on just a kid, and then have to go around and turn around and pay alimony, right? And that could be after a woman has done some wickedness. Well, a woman can just divorce a man, you know. And the thing that brought kind of cultivated all of this kind of in my mind, in my spirit, was when I had read this on Google. It goes into wedding vows. All right, it says here, however, the bride and groom may choose to replace the clause "to love and to cherish" with "to love, cherish, and obey." So it says when the bride makes her vows. Now, a vow is something you make before the Most High. It's not a light thing that you do. And the Most High is justified in destroying you for violating those vows. All right? That's just like saying I'm gonna do something and you're not gonna do it. There's brothers who that that's likening to the guys that turn their back, on the plow. You make a commitment to do something, then you just say, nah, I ain't with it. Well, those guys are in a position for the Most High to do away with them. All right. And so a vow is not a light thing. you know it's such a heavy thing that you can get in the scriptures. And actually, I may get it actually about how vows, your father or your husband is supposed to be there to honor your vow in behalf of the Most High. Yeah, this is Numbers 30 and 4. It says, "And her father hear her now in her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her." then all her vows shall stand. So if the father hears the vow, doesn't object, then her vow stands before the Most High, because a vow is an important thing. See, fathers and husbands, they were the lords of their house. They ruled over their houses in the ancient world, and that's the natural order of things. So if this is important enough for your husband to have to make a decision on it, he has to have the final say. That tells you how important a vow is. All right. So these so-called Christian vows, look at what they did. At September 12, 1922, the Episcopal Church voted to remove the word obey from the bride's section of wedding vows. So this is how it all started. First, it started with saying, well, you don't have to obey. Then it turned into 50-50. All right. Then it turned into, I don't need a man. Then it turned into, you just got baby daddies and baby mamas, and they're all having sex with various different men. This free marketplace of just feelings. It's nonsense, man. And this is one of the reasons the Most High has to come back and destroy people, man. Utterly root this place out. That's right. Elder's putting out a video. And so this place has to be rooted out, man. Completely burned. Because for you to remove the word obey, what do the scriptures have to say about that? When you get 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, this is 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. It says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man. So there's an order to things. There's a hierarchy. See, women have a problem with falling into a order, a hierarchy, but they don't realize that even men fall into hierarchies, man. You have kings, you have princes, all right. Then you have the ruling class, or the noble houses, like for in Israel, for example, you have the king. You have King David. You have King David in his house. All right. And then you have the tribe of Judah. Right. That is as the chief house. All right. And then you have the other tribes. Now they all have their own hierarchy and rulership. But you see, even amongst one nation, our nation, there is order and a rulership. In the kingdom is going to be the house of David and the 144,000, then the 1/3. And then the rest of Israel, right? And then amongst Israel, they're in charge over the other nations. So the Most High believes in order, and that's across men and women. And see, they don't see that there's a hierarchy. They just think men are winning because they're running these CEO jobs and doing this and that, but they don't want to bear the responsibility that comes along with that, That guy could be kicked out of his company. That guy could be killed for his position. Men often risk their lives to get what they have, and that's what this modern world has taught women. All right, this is what Esau Edom has fed women, a bunch of bullshit. That it doesn't cost anything to have what men have, but that's not true. And the head of every woman, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh, the Most High. So even the King of the universe, Yahweh Shai, every planet, the earth itself too, but every planet, all the Yahweh Shai is the heir to all of that, man. Everything. All right. And even he has a power over him. All right. So this whole thing about bucking up against order, want to take the word obey, this is why marriage has been perverted, and As a matter of fact, I was just there actually. Let me see if I can get back. I can get back to it. Yeah, First Corinthians 7. It says, 1 Corinthians 7:29. It says, "But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none." All right, and that's very, very important. Now, if you're dealing with a woman, it's not saying Paul is not saying you're going off by having a woman, but he's giving you similar to what Yahweh Shah was doing in Matthew 5. He's giving you he's alluding to the spirit that you should be in. All right, like nothing should be stopping you. You shouldn't be chasing. You shouldn't make a woman your all. Women don't even like that, man. You putting all your energy into a woman, that's a turnoff. Women want men who have their own thing going, who have something to focus on. All right, so you shouldn't be about this, and you should be putting this truth above everything else. At the end of the day, so that's what this is talking about, man. You should be trying to look in the law and like, oh, we can have 5 wives, oh, okay, and then you go out there, working your ass off to pay for 5 women, when it's already hell in this society. Those 5 women in this society, those women can clean you out, man. They can completely ruin you in this society. Because see, Esau hasn't made it for you niggas to come up in that way. As a matter of fact, he was so afraid of it. You can only marry one woman. So he's made it to where now you can only marry one woman, and he set up the economics in the marriage to where even if that one woman wanted to take advantage of you, she could. So it's no longer fruitful to have multiple women, And this is another reason why we got to get out of here. You can't fall into this trap of marriage. Okay. It's a stumbling block. It's paperwork legally that you don't need to be signing with the devil. All right. And ultimately it's going to serve as a distraction, especially in these days, the prophecies that we have popping off, man. With the mark of the beast on the horizon. Hey, a woman's going to be a burden in that day, man. Especially this woman you got all these feelings for. Now, I'm not saying brothers who got women that they care for, are going off or anything like that. But man, Esau's going to come from every side, man. He's going to tempt her. If you got kids, he's going to try to get to you through them. And now you see why Paul is saying what he was saying, He says the time is short, but it remaineth. It says, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not. So you should be in the spirit. You shouldn't be in the spirit of mirth. You should be in the spirit of mourning, as it's written in Ecclesiastes 7. All right. The house of mirth is the house of fools, roughly paraphrasing. It says, and they that buy as though they possess not. So even if you got a lot of money, man, you shouldn't be out here, dropping money on a Beamer every year. All of this superficial stuff. This is all carnal, and it's likely to get you off your path. See, Esau has everything set up to entice you to do the wrong thing. It's in everything part of the pop culture, music videos, music, movies, television. Everything is trying to, come on, do this, do this. Verse 31, it says, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. All right. And that's the main point on that. And marriage has it's turned into something that was righteous, right? To something that's now a snare. This was designed, the marriage, the bond between men and women was designed to help men live, for women to live good, and for men to live good. But now these women are full of pride. So when you look at the precepts, it takes you to Genesis 3. going back to this thing on obey, right? It says it in Ephesians 5:23 too, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. All right. But look at when you read Genesis 3:16, it says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. So he put a burden on the woman, a curse, if you will, to have sorrow in conception, meaning they're going to be painful childbirth. It says, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So this is scriptural, but here you have a church going all the way back in 1922 trying to remove the word obey because they want to subvert the order of things. All right. Because they know if Jake follows, you know, the law, statutes, and commandments, it's over with, man. They can't stop us. You know? And so I just wanted to say a few words on that. That was on my spirit. My power just went out as well too. And yeah, man, we gotta be circumspect on these things, you know. I don't even have a woman. There's a woman, you know, every now and then you might see somebody you want to deal with, and you know you see what's happening with that. But ultimately, man, you know, I'm not looking to establish no long-term relationships in these places because these women are all basically thoughts now, you know. And when I was in